Hello, I'm Barbara Mine, Chair of Friends of Bishopstone Station. I'd like to talk to you today about the Bishopstone Station Restoration Project. Next slide, please. So to get your project going, you need, in my words, is passion, perseverance, patience, public support, and people. Passion, in my case, it was the first time I ever saw this station building. I just walked there to go onto the train to go to London, and I came across this building and I knew it needed to be saved. Therefore, that started everything off with my passion for the building. Perseverance is really important because it's not going to happen overnight. It takes a long time to get a project like this going. You're dealing with all sorts of people, which brings you on to patience, which obviously you really need to get. It's very frustrating sometimes, as it's not your building. Therefore, you need an awful lot of patience. Public support. Put your ideas out to the public, out to the community. It's amazing what you get back. And then they know something's happening. And people, you need a cross-section of volunteers. It's vital, and it's amazing, once again, who comes along and who you find that you can work with. Next slide, please. Issues encountered. Expect the unexpected. What you've planned for doesn't always run to time. You find things like you go to the station one day and there's an awful lot of, as you can see in the photograph there, some scaffolding up, no idea why it was there, no idea it was happening. So you have to expect the unexpected. Policies, create policies. A topic unknown to most of us. One of our new members has taken this on, and he's done a really good job of it. He's just about finished it now. Working with a listed building has its issues. Bearing in mind, you may need planning, permission and change of status. Therefore, you need conservation officers' help. We needed to change our status to a community interest company, otherwise known as a CIC. Community interest company was to protect us and have credibility with funding, which was another learning curve. We invited the conservation officer to the station, and I would definitely recommend that. They all of a sudden, once again, passion comes in, and they are always passionate about these buildings. If you have a look down there on the right-hand side, that's me finding an awful lot of things just behind this, what used to be the old parcel room, and it was all blocked up with sleepers. When I got in there, the guys that were there to strip the room were going to just dump it, but I started looking very carefully and taking everything out and just looking at everything independently. And I found this little teddy bear, and the little teddy bear with a box of other toys was, we were going to keep him, we were going to call him Fobsy. But then we put it on Facebook. Facebook then obviously had a lot of interest, and the daughter of the man whose teddy it was contacted me and asked me if I could reunite him with the teddy, or reunite the teddy with him. It seems his dad had put it in there, and I don't know, and he obviously thought it was lost, but he really thought it was lost, and he was so delighted to get the teddy back. He was also terminally ill, so it was really important for him to have that. And we had the BBC the TV news, BBC TV News, and also the radio got involved with that, and they took up the story with him. It's just really, really charming story, and we're really pleased to reunite him with his toys. The other things we found there, we sold. I sold most of them, and we sold them because we were allowed to. That's another thing, you've got to really check and make sure that you're allowed to do these things. And I sold them, and we auctioned things, and we raised about £800 to £900 from just those things that were going to get chucked away on the back of some truck. So that was lovely. Next slide, please. Factoring in sustainability is really, really difficult. It's a listed building, so we have limitations on this. It's not our buildings, grade 2 listed, and as such there are many limitations. Energy, once again being listed, we can't really do anything. We can't put solar panels up, we can't do anything at all. However, I think we need to research this and research possibilities of what we can do, and we will keep on to that because it's so important now for today's energy. Next slide, please. So how do we use the space? Identify the usable area. We had this little map drawn up for us by one of our members who's an architect, and he just did it how we thought it could look. And if you look on the left hand side, that is already an old, it's ladies' toilet, which is absolutely wrecked. It's just all smashed up. But the right hand side, the yellow side, is the space that we have had allocated to us. And obviously it's symmetrical, so but the side on the right is the one that's allocated to us. So identifying the usable area, how many people can it accommodate? Because this can seriously affect what you intend to use it for. We are going to be using it for fitness classes, art groups, meeting rooms, lessons. We've got language lessons going on at the moment as well. But obviously the amount of people you can get in there is really important. You need to identify that. We found that we can take 24. So with the yoga class being the space we have, they can only have 8 mats down because you have to have some space on that one. Meet regularly with your group to get their ideas on how they see the space being used, and get your community involved. We held a couple of local meetings in the local village hall with questions and answers, as they needed to know what we are doing for them, and obviously then get some ideas and collate the community ideas with our ideas and see what works. It's amazing what they come up with. The shop, they wanted another shop there, which is not viable. We don't have the footfall, so that wouldn't have worked. But it was interesting, and a lot of what they did say was, we would really like somewhere we could just drop in, sit down, have a chat, and just a cup of tea, and just play games, maybe cards, and just catch up with neighbours you haven't seen for a long time. So with that in mind, just listen. It's really important to listen and keep minutes. Can I have the next slide, please? So running your community space, you need a lot of advice on this. You talk to others who do it, which we did, and the photograph down there is at Baton Ball Station. We had a little visit over there and met Linda Larter, who started that one off. She gave us so much advice, really gave us so much advice, and I've spoken to her several times since we went to that meeting, just to make sure I'm doing everything right, because it's evident they're doing things right there, and it does look really beautiful. Work with Network Rail and your train operator. Not easy, because you don't always know who you're speaking to, you don't know who the right person is you need to speak to. So, but you have to, at the end of the day, try and find out and work with Network Rail and your train operator. Can be very helpful. Arrange a tripartite lease. I've slipped down there because it all comes into play. Utilities, peppercorn rental, tripartite lease agreement. Never heard of it before until I'd sat and chatted to Linda Larter, and she told me what it was all about. I got a lot of advice on that from a friend who's a CEO for a big company. I got lots and lots of advice. It's the tripartite lease it's an agreement between your group, Network Rail, and your rail operator. So the rail operator is GTR in our case, but you have to have written in there, or another rail operator in the future, because you never know what's going to happen in the future. It's typically 10 years, and we've got a 10-year one with a 5-year break clause, which is a minefield, and you really, really do need help. Basically, don't roll over on the first one or the second one, maybe not even the third one. Really go over it. There's lots of things in there that can trip you up, not meaning to trip you up, but because it's something new with Network Rail. and the train operator is evidently something very new for us and for you if you take this on. Contact a local solicitor. We contacted our local solicitor in Seaford. He was very, very helpful. We didn't pay an awful lot of money. He was very, I wouldn't say cheap, but he was okay. We didn't have to pay an awful lot of money. They do community rates, worth asking. Policies, I think I talked about policies a little while just now, but policies are very important, and I never realised until just recently how many you need. It's incredible. So you need someone that can really do this for you if you're not au fait with it, which I wasn't. So I've got someone else to do it for us, and he's made a really good job of it. Okay, next slide, please. Top tips, yes, networking and contacts. You really do to network contacts. I networked locally with people like our council, the Rotary. We've got 2 Rotaries here, and I contacted them. I've done a couple of talks, had some advice, just networking and contacts, most important. Cozy up to your local MP and officials. Maria Caulfield is our MP, and I have to say, she's been so supportive, always comes to our meetings, always comes to anything we're doing. And we had recently our launch, and she came to that as well. As you can see, there's me, there's the chair of council, Lewis District Council, and Andrew Blackman, who is the Lord Lieutenant. And if you do network, you're going to get people like this turn up for you because they know you, they really know you. Most important, work with organisations, lots of organisations out there to work with. Community Rail Partnership and Community Rail Network can be invaluable to your project. Just, understand what they do for you. Very, very good. Next slide, please. So phase 1 is completed. It's absolutely beautiful. We've got the soft green and cream walls. The old floor that was down, the parquet floor, I don't think you can actually see it on there, but we've saved it. It's just to on the left-hand side picture, it's just to the right. And we've saved the parquet flooring. So that's all been refurbished. It's just beautiful in there. And the keys were passed over to us last month. Oh, no, sorry. Yes, the keys were passed over to us last month, October. And there's Paul Devereaux there and me. Paul Devereaux is GTR, and we've worked very close together. It's been a good partnership. And then to the right-hand side, on the bottom right-hand side, we can see that we have Tim Dunn from Architecture the Railways Built. He was our celebrity for the day, the Lord Lieutenant, the Mayor. We've had everybody there on the day, and it was so successful, very successful. The next slide, please. And thank you for listening. Please get in touch if you'd like to know more. And my email address is there. We've also got friends of Bishopstone Station at yahoo.com. That's friends of Bishopstone Station at yahoo.com. And friends of Bishopstone Station Facebook. And we are also on Twitter. You'll see us, you'll find our logo, and you'll just see us. So thank you very much, and I'll pass you back. Thank you.